I think there's some decent news as of right now when it comes to Zebec. Now, what is that? Even though clearly, altcoins are not doing the best, but even though nothing I say is financial advice, not too long ago, Zebec Cards, they made a post on X and it said that they're thrilled to join Unity's redemption marketplace. Now, this is bringing ZBCN real-world utility. Now, some people may be thinking, like, okay, who cares about that? Granted, I don't think it's the best thing of all time. I think it's pretty decent. I don't think it's the best, but at the end of the day, I think it's a thought that counts because even if we take a look at Minutes Network Token, right, their account on X, they say how they're partnering with Zebec to bring real-world financial access to the Unity ecosystem. Now, when it comes to Unity, it's nothing really, I think, that popular in the grand scheme of things. I mean, personally, it's not like this was on my radar, right, when it comes to this type of stuff. But when I take a look at Zebec, what I like about it is that they're constantly at least trying to do something. Other projects out there, I feel like they got a little bit lazy actually in terms of not really wanting to do anything, it feels like. And they're just like, okay, the price isn't doing the best. We'll update later. We'll do things later when the market is doing better. But I think this is actually a little bit counterintuitive because if, let's say, the market is starting to do good, it's not like projects can just instantly do something, right? It takes time usually. So I think at a time like that, sometimes people take a look at the track record of a project. They take a look at what the project has done before. And Zebec, they're laying down the groundwork. So let's say there is an altcoin season, maybe. Only time will tell. But if there was one, this type of stuff, I think, really just kind of accumulates more and more in terms of just adding more towards the fundamentals. Because I think when people take a look at something like this, they take a look at what the Zebec cards did with Bonk. Bonk, a Solana-based meme coin that's very popular. We take a look at what Zebec has done with Algorand. We take a look at what they're planning to do with World Mobile and also a bunch of others, right? I mean, there's a bunch of things that Zebec has done so far. And I think that right there is just really going to have this sort of tidal wave where it really just plays into kind of the narrative of it being good fundamentally, at least the way I take a look at it, especially if the market picks up again when it comes to altcoins. So I think when projects like this really do things when the market is not doing good, I do really like seeing that because I think it kind of, again, is going to reflect well upon it when, let's say, times do get better when it comes to altcoins. Now, this is just my perspective. Again, I'm not telling you to do anything when it comes to ZBCN, and clearly nothing I say is financial advice, but then at the same time, we've seen kind of time and time again projects that continue to build. Usually when the market really picks up, that type of stuff is often looked at. Just take a look at Cardano. Cardano didn't give up, right? And then we saw what it did back in 2021 in terms of its native token called ADA. So then, again, seeing something like that go from around a couple of cents to, around $3, that's just very impressive. And I think that's a testament. And even though I'm not saying that Zebec is going to become the next Cardano, because I don't think it's going to be that massive, but to a certain extent, we've kind of seen, again, a project that continues to not give up. Sometimes we see what they do during an altcoin season. So I do like seeing that aspect when it comes to Zebec. And also, people like to say, okay, but how is this really going to benefit Zebec in any significant way? Take a look at the price. It's still, around a 25x to go to the price of 10 cents. Totally aware of that. I mean, this type of stuff isn't going to be instant. It's not going to be like when there was an altcoin season and then suddenly any just even news just makes the project do significant moves. It's not like that, right? Again, we're not during an altcoin season, I feel like, at least in my perspective. So then, again, this type of stuff really won't make such a big difference right now, but I think moving forward, it could very well be the case. Only time will tell. However, when I take a look at something like Zebec, I think oftentimes people kind of don't really care about the aspect of Solana that it has, and I think this right here, again, is also kind of not really such a, shocking thing to me because, again, Solana isn't necessarily doing the best in terms of popularity currently, even though it's actually very popular in the grand scheme of things. But again, it's not as popular as I think what it could be if there was an altcoin season. And I feel like sometimes people kind of forgot about what Solana did not too long ago, where the attention was absolutely fantastic, and we even saw many of these Solana-based meme coins just go along with the ride. But when it comes to something like Zebec, again, it's not a meme coin, but then if Solana has that next leg up, if this kind of went along with the ride, it wouldn't necessarily surprise me because ZBCN has already kind of been proven within that sort of space. I mean, not too long ago, ZBCN was even top 10 in terms of utility when it comes to Solana. So overall, when I take a look at Zebec, I like its positioning, I like what it's trying to do, and just because it's kind of this miniature version of Ripple and Stellar, it is something that really excites me, but then of course it has that Solana aspect, so that's just kind of the cherry on top for me. However, also on top of that, when I take a look at something like the Zebec cards, I get it. People like to say, okay, sure, it's powered by MasterCard, but a lot of other cards out there are powered by MasterCard, even a lot of other projects out there have cards. But you know what? When times are boring like this, I feel like in the altcoin space, at least it feels like to me, this type of stuff at least gives me some enthusiasm. It at least keeps me a little bit entertained, right? I mean, like, okay, sure, I could just be bored and not really care about anything and just take a look at the price chart and just complain all day, but why would I do that if, let's say, the project is at least doing something and, again, it's at least something to keep me entertained? Now, if the price wasn't doing the best and let's say things were looking a little bit boring and then on top of that, the project really isn't doing anything either, it's like, wow, it's just a little bit boring at that point, and it's just a little bit like losing from two different sides. Things are not doing good in terms of the price, and then also on top of that, the project really isn't doing anything. I'm not saying that's the case when it comes to Zebec, but other projects out there, it feels like that to me. So yeah, I just like what Zebec is doing overall, and when it comes to 10 cents, yeah, I mean, it's around a 25x from here. I understand that, but at the same time, the market cap it would need to reach the price of 10 cents still doesn't seem that ridiculous to me. I mean, I haven't given up on that idea actually, because at around a $9.5 billion market cap, considering current circulating supply, which it would have at that point, it's just nothing that would necessarily kind of surprise me because it's not such a ridiculous market cap. That right there isn't even 5% of 200 billion. And XRP not too long ago reached $200 billion around that range in terms of market cap. And that's not even during an altcoin season, I feel like during this cycle. So ultimately, all I can do is just stay patient, but nonetheless, I do like what I'm seeing when it comes to Zebec. At least they're doing something when it comes to the cards, right? And I feel like sometimes because so many projects out there have cards, Zebec being focused on the cards is kind of diluted because people feel like, oh, it's just another project being focused on cards, who cares? But I think this one is actually taking it seriously. I think even though being focused on cards is not necessarily reinventing the wheel, I feel like the way that Zebec is handling it is really revolutionary in a sense where they actually really care about it. They're actually putting a lot of effort, it feels like to me. While other projects out there, they just kind of treat it like a trophy or something like to show off and say, oh yeah, we're focused on this, but then they don't really care about it. But then to me, Zebec doesn't give me that vibe, so I like how they're focused on cards, and also when I take a look at it overall, I still like the amount of holders. I mean, when a project has over 80,000 holders, I don't think it's doing that bad, but yeah, this is just my perception. When is there going to be an altcoin season? I mean, only time will tell. All I can do really at this point is just stay patient, hold, and that's pretty much about it. I mean, other than that, I can't demand an altcoin season to start. All I can do is just stay patient, and even though I'm not telling to do anything, I'm still very excited as to what maybe Zebec could be moving forward, but only time will tell. And feel free to subscribe if you enjoyed this video. I'd greatly appreciate it. I want to say thank you for watching. I hope you all have a nice day. It's Mali the Captain, and I'll catch you all on the next one. I'm out. Peace. Bye.